I can hear it, yeah. It's better, thank you. It matches, right? Like my voice. Okay, as long as you can hear both.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
That was good enough. I won't make you do it again. It's good to be back up on the bima. I feel like it has been a minute for me, or I've been like in the chapel or just different spaces. So it's nice to begin in here and start in here. So friends, let's see, things to talk about. First of all, I'll thank them again later, but thank you to our ushers, some of whom are still working. We've got Todd Anton out there, Karen Fox, Hal Fine, John Egbert, and Grant Stein. So thank you guys for doing that. I know there's still some littles out there, but if anybody needs the Shalom Sanctuary for a quieter space to pray, we have that behind the glass windows. You all know the drill, but in case you forgot, under your seat should be our Mishkan Tefillah. We'll be praying from that prayer book tonight. If you need to step out of the sanctuary for anything, there's an exit over there, there's an exit over there, there's an exit behind you, and an exit behind us as well. If you forgot to take a second to check your smartphone or your phone, please take a second and make sure that your alarms are off, that your phone is on silent, so it doesn't go off in the middle of my sermon, okay? Thank you. Friends, Rabbi Rachel, special leadership tonight from our very own Sydney Levy. Take a second, or two or three, turn to somebody you didn't come here with, perhaps introduce yourself or say hello, Shabbat Shalom, and we'll join back together with a little Hine Matov.
Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Friends, it's been probably a busy week. We had the ice-ish storm last week. The mayor of Sandy Springs said, please stay home tomorrow. So if you didn't get the memo, we are online tomorrow. Our B'nai Mitzvah family program is rescheduled. Those joining for Chevra Torah or for the Kaddish Minyan beforehand, a link was sent out. So please join us online for that, and everybody stay safe tomorrow. But we are entering Shabbat now, and so to help us do that, we'll take a few breaths to release all of the busyness of the week. So find your feet on the floor or your back against the chair, and if you want to flutter your eyes closed, I invite you to do so now so that we can take those centering breaths together. So we'll take a deep breath in, let it out, releasing all the busyness of the week. Deep breath in, let it out, helping us to enter this space. One more breath, deep breath in. Let it out. Let us be centered to enter Shabbat. So if you'll flutter those eyes open and open your prayer books to page 120. And Tammy, if you'll come on up to our candles here. If everyone will please rise. So we'll welcome in some love, light, and warmth, and we'll join with Sydney.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechad likner shel Shabbat.
to light your own Shabbat candles, you can do so to the tables to our left and to our right. If you're going to remain at your seats, you may be seated as we welcome our Sabbath angels. Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Zeitchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Friends, on page 138, we have our prayer of Lechadodi. We welcome the Sabbath bride with joy.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi Emanu-El hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat
Once we're warmed up in our prayers, we move to Baruch Hu, page 146.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
If you'll turn to the back inside cover of your prayer books, you'll find our Ma'ariv Aravim. We welcome on the evening we roll into dark. I was wondering if you were going to capo that. There you go.
It's necessary. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyom balayla, kolel or mipnei choshech, kolel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
Page 152, we remain standing, our shoulders back a little more, our head held high and proud. We declare God's oneness, Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. Page 154, we have words of our Ve'ahavta. Obviously, they're the words that are inside our mezuzot, inside our scrolls that are on our homes, on the doorposts of our houses, perhaps bedrooms and other rooms in our home. And they're there to remind us, to say, look, this is a holy place. We want this to be an ideal. We want this to be a mikdash me'at, like a small sanctuary. And so when we focus on these words tonight, you may even be one who you can kind of gaze around while you would chant Ve'ahavta. It's so familiar to you. So if that's you, look at the English too. Try to remember really what you're engaging with. And if it's less familiar to you, just do what feels right. Ve'ahavta, page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלך אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושימנתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלתך בדרך ושופך ובקומך וגשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So on page 158 we have our prayer of Mi Chamocha. This is Shabbat Shirah. This is the Torah portions Beshalach. It includes the Song of the Sea. I'm not going to be preaching about the Torah portion tonight because I have too much to tell you about my last Israel trip. But Mi Chamocha is a prayer. This is where it comes from. We're in it in the Torah portion this week. Our song after silent prayer will also be a melody that comes from the words of our Torah portion. It comes from that Song of the Sea. And so as we sing out in our classic Debbie Friedman, we imagine being right there on that edge, having crossed into freedom. Mi Chamocha, page 158.
Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha ne'edar b'kodesh noratehi lo dosei felet noratehi lo dosei felet מלכותך ובניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה ליאנו ואמרו זה ליאנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם לעולם ועד
Page 161, we'll pray these words of Hashkivenu together, asking for a little more love and a little more understanding among us. Let's pray together at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And on page 162, we move into Vishamru, our prayer for Shabbat, thanking God and recognizing that we have this special day to soak up. So whether it's the 1 hour that you come to services on a Friday night, or if you take advantage of all 25 hours, you're at least checking this box. Good for you. Keep it going. Vishamru 162.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We'll turn to page 164. We'll rise for our Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imaot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Etzrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah Rav le'Oshia, Mashiva Ruach u'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim bechesed, Mechayei HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiah Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom yihalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh.
Continue in silent prayer with the words of our liturgy or the prayers of our heart. And when you are finished, please be seated.
Everyone please sing. Oh, Ziv, Ziv Radia, Vayehi Yeshua. Oh, Ziv, Ziv Radia, Vayehi Yeshua. Oh, Ziv, Ziv Radia, Vayehi Yeshua. Oh, Ziv, Ziv Radia, Vayehi Yeshua.
Get comfy, friends. This is a long one, just to warn you, okay? Our sacred call is to sustain life through love, through giving life to all, reviving the dead, through a great saving power, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. It's not some poem I wrote before today to simply put into my sermon. These are the words of our Gevurot, the second blessing of our Amidah. Jews have prayed these words 3 times a day for nearly 2,000 years. We certainly do it here each Shabbat. And when I made my journey to Israel 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was returning home to bear witness to how half of the Jewish people continue to answer this sacred call to sustain life. I hadn't made the journey in over 1,000 days. It's a record-breaking time for me to be away from Israel. And oh, how my soul yearned to get back to our people in a post-October 7th world. I traveled with the Amplify Israel Rabbinic Fellowship, a selective year-long program created by Rabbi Ami Hirsch of the Stephen Wise Free Synagogue. It's for early career reform rabbis. And through a trip to Israel, 2 additional gatherings, and online learning, we strengthen our ability to bring Israel and Jewish peoplehood into our rabbinate. The program has 3 main goals: to intensify our connection to Zionism, to develop a community of leaders that can be leveraged in times of both crisis and community building, and to sharpen practical skills in advancing the ideals of Zionism. Now, we were told in advance that this would be a trip of all-day meetings. And they weren't kidding. Over 30 meetings in 7 days. Early on, I realized that we were meeting with the Giborim of the land, heroes, and they were everywhere. And here is where the connection between Gevurot and Giborim becomes so powerful. In Hebrew, a Gibor, a hero, is literally one who performs Gevurot. They both come from the same root. Both describe strength, courage, and the ability to overcome obstacles so that life can be sustained. And the heroes we met embody the very actions we pray for in the Gevurot. So tonight I want to take us on a journey through the Gevurot. I won't have time to tell you about all 30 speakers, but I want to introduce a few of these Giborim, their stories, and the pieces of the Gevurot that they bring to life. Our sacred call is to sustain life through loving kindness. Mechalkel chaim bechesed. On October 7th, Israeli life shattered. And yet over and over, we heard the same testimony. In the midst of uncertainty, everybody needed anchors. Secular Israelis didn't begin with ideology. They began with kitchens and living rooms and song. Rabbi Naomi Efrat, a Reform rabbi in Pardes Chana, just south of Haifa, told us that on that Shabbat HaShchorah, that Black Sabbath, 40 people came into her home, all of whom were secular Israelis who do not pray. But in those horrible hours after the war began, they felt lost and confused. Rabbi Naomi had built relationships with them over the past year, and when the war began to unfold that morning, they didn't know what to do. And so they showed up at her home and said, "We know we aren't the type who pray, but that's what we need right now." There was chaos that morning. No one knew if Hezbollah was going to join in the attack from the north, not far from where they were. Rabbi Naomi worried about holding a gathering at all, but she didn't want to turn people away. And she had a friend nearby that she knew had a gun, and so she called him and asked him to come stand guard outside her home. And she filled her home with people, and suddenly a home in a hippie town of Pardes Chana was filled with secular Israelis and a Reform rabbi leading them in Shir HaMa'alot, prayers calling out for help when the ground beneath them felt unsteady, a cry for protection, for the assurance that even in the darkest hours that there is a source that guards are going out and are coming in. God sustains life through chesed, through loving kindness. On October 7th, when a bunch of hippie secular Israelis in Pardes Chana felt lost, they turned to someone they knew could guide them, a rabbi who could hold them with sacred love and kindness. Our sacred call is to sustain life through giving life to all, through reviving the dead. Mechayeh hakol, mechayeh hametim. In most Reform synagogues, we pray the words Mechayeh hakol, giving life to all. But the traditional text of the Gevurot is written Mechayeh hametim, reviving the dead. So we don't often talk about resurrection in a Reform setting, but those who do might imagine resurrection as something mystical, future-oriented, something that feels a little foreign to our everyday Jewish conversations. Now, there are other ways to understand the phrase. Our beloved departed are revived when their stories are told and memories of their impact are shared, both the beauty of their lives and, in this case, the horrors of their death. And to that end, we met Dr. Kochav Elkayam Levi, whose sacred task is to gather testimony, painful, unspeakable testimony from October 7th. And she pursues truth not to inflame hatred, but to prevent erasure, especially when so many people around the world continue to deny the atrocities. Even representatives to the United Nations have sat and denied the atrocities. Raim al-Salem, the UN rapporteur on violence against women and girls, publicly denied that rape occurred on October 7th. Kochav and her team have been sent video after video after video to her personal WhatsApp. Videos taken by Hamas themselves, those taken by civilians. They have seen the most horrible, unimaginable things to build an archive of terror and truth. I cannot emphasize enough the weight this puts on Kochav and her team. One person leading this charge, one person who sees all of these images. has to watch and review and document every clip. In Jewish tradition, memory is not passive. To remember is to restore a person's presence in this world. And so yes, documenting these truths brings back to life the horrors of each death, but their full stories must be told. Our sacred call is to sustain life through a great saving power, Rav Lehoshia. If God has a great power to save, maybe there's a bit of God in those around us. Perhaps we should tap into the godliness of our neighbors. And during this trip, we heard from voices across the political and ethnic spectrums, from Jews, from Bedouins, from Druzim and Palestinians. We journeyed into East Jerusalem, where one Palestinian named Samer said plainly, "There will be no future if we keep denying one another's narratives," while also saying he believes in 100% self-determination for Israelis and for Palestinians. And if the Palestinian Authority ever opens true elections, this guy is ready to run. They haven't been held in over 15 years, though, so we'll see. But Samer's willingness to hold complexity was itself an act of saving power. Then, while just a few kilometers from the border, moving from East Jerusalem up north, right on the edge with Syria, we heard from Lieutenant Colonel Reserve Eyal Dror, who ran Operation Good Neighbor during the Syrian civil war. He showed us images drawn by young Syrian children who were brought to Israeli hospitals for treatment. It was the first time they'd ever looked around a hospital room and they saw Arabs and Druze and Jewish Israelis together helping them to heal. They would talk about how they were indoctrinated to hate the Israeli, to hate the Jew. But by the time they left the Israeli hospitals, these Syrian children had drawn pictures of Israeli flags and hearts. We have been a great saving power to others. That's funny, it heard saving power. Let's see, where was I? We have been a great saving power to others, and I pray that a day will come when others will see the humanity in the Israeli and be a great saving power to them as well. Our sacred call is to sustain life through lifting the fallen, somech noflim. I could speak to you for about 2 hours on this topic, but I'm going to try to inspire with just one of the stories, and it's a very condensed version. And that is the story of Remo. I heard this story while sitting at the Nova Festival site, all of the imagery behind us, and Remo speaking directly to us. Remo is a Bedouin Israeli policeman who went to work a music festival he didn't want to attend. Like here in the States, police officers pick up extra gigs with security jobs to make a little extra money. Remo didn't even want to do this one, but his friend kept nagging him. "It'll be so easy. It's a bunch of hippies dancing in the desert." When Remo woke up that morning, he had a weird feeling. So as he was preparing to leave his home, he couldn't shake the feeling, and so he grabbed an extra magazine for his pistol. He left that morning with 3 magazines instead of 2. And he arrived for the shift change at 6 a.m. Everything changed at 6:29 a.m. Within 10 minutes, by 6:39, of the terror unfolding, he realized that terrorists were coming in with heavy machinery. And all he had was a pistol and 1 extra magazine. And so he changed his strategy early on, and he found a car that was full of gas, and it had the keys in it. He says it was a miracle, the first of many during the horrors of that day. And he would go on to take that black Nissan Juke, and for 3 hours, he drove in and out of danger. He piled as many people into his car as he could, sometimes 10 people stacked high, driving them out of the Nova Festival to a nearby kibbutz, dropping them off at a greenhouse, and then heading back into the danger to try to save more people. He got a call from his wife at 10 a.m. asking him, come home, come home. But he said he's on a mission and he needs to fulfill his duty. By 11 a.m. that day, Grandma lifted up 200 people from danger. He saved 200 worlds. Somech noflim, he lifted the fallen. Our sacred call is to sustain life through healing the sick, Rofeh Cholim. We heard from Professor Eyal Fruchter, a psychiatrist and retired IDF colonel, who described what Israeli society is now facing. Not just PTSD, but moral injury. The wound that comes when one's deepest ethical expectations are shattered. PTSD isn't always immediate. In fact, for soldiers, it will kick in within 4 years, and for civilians, it may not kick in for 9 years. In addition to PTSD, they're seeing a lot of civilians and soldiers dealing with what I said was called moral injury. So an example of a civilian moral injury is the piece in which the army didn't come to everyone who was living on the periphery, those who were living on the edge of Gaza. Those living there were always told that if something happens, the army will be there within 10 to 15 minutes. But on that day, hours went by without the IDF. So civilians, they feel a sense of betrayal of leadership, a moral injury. The other type of moral injury involves, for example, the sniper, who was told by a commander to shoot a terrorist who's holding a child. And the sniper disobeyed the command. He now holds the weight of disobeying a direct command and anything that resulted from that decision. Now there's also the moral injury of a different sniper who was told by a commander to shoot a terrorist that's holding a child. And the sniper obeyed the command. And now that sniper must deal with knowing that he was willing to almost kill a child. Now, amazingly, Israeli psychiatrists like Professor Fruchter have figured out that the best way to help these snipers heal is to actually have them talk to one another. Professor Fruchter has started an NGO tasked with putting systems and resources into place to help the massive number of people who are going to need treatment and therapy. He says the government is underprepared, and he's doing the sacred work of sustaining life through healing the sick. Our sacred call is to sustain life through freeing the captive, Matir Asurim. I did not know, but that by the time I delivered these remarks, for the first time in 12 years, there would be no hostages in Gaza. And while I was in Israel, the last remaining captive was Ron Gavili of blessed memory. And his face, it was everywhere. And while so many Israelis felt helpless in the work of freeing the captive, the one thing they knew they could do was to gather, to protest, to demand action from the government, and be voices and influencers to speak out for the hostages. Our very first meeting of the trip was with the man who had the #1 line to the hostages, retired Rear Admiral and former IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari, the most beloved man in Israel from 2023 to 2025. He spoke almost nightly to the nation. He carried the hostages with him in every briefing, always aware that they might be listening, always choosing his words with them in mind. But Hagari also spoke about another kind of captivity, the captivity of false narratives. Freeing the captive, he reminded us, sometimes begins with refusing to distort the truth, even when distortion would be easier. He is well aware that Israel lost the PR war. And he offered as an example the hospital incident that swept the world. Do you remember that one? Hamas claimed within minutes that Israel had struck a hospital and killed 500 people. And major news outlets ran with the story almost instantly. Hagari refused to respond immediately. He would not allow himself to be captive to pressure or propaganda until he could fully verify what had happened. As we now know, Israel did not strike that hospital. But verification took several days, a lifetime in the media cycle. And when the evidence finally showed that the Islamic Jihad had fired a misdirected rocket that hit the parking lot, not the hospital, and that far fewer than 500 people were killed, the truth had already been buried beneath days of misinformation. News organizations, themselves captive to the urgency of reporting first rather than reporting accurately, had already amplified Hamas's claim. Even now, many still believe that false narrative. So the hostages in Gaza, thank God, are now free. But freeing those who remain captive to false narratives and hatred is work that we will continue to do. And finally, the Gevurot speaks about how our sacred calling is to sustain life through keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. To me, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust is all about wanting the past generation of Jews to be proud of the next generation. I believe that God was in relationships with those who came before us and will continue to be in relationship with the Jewish people moving forward. And the God that I believe in wants Jews to live proud Jewish lives. And when I think about this, I recalled the talks from Reform leaders in Israel like Reform Rabbi and member of Knesset Gilad Kariv and Dr. Nachman Shai of the Hebrew Union College. They are striving to make sure that Israel be a place that protects democratic culture, maintains a moral courage that overcomes Jewish extremism, and supports institutions that further these causes. I believe that for the state of Israel to flourish, the government must maintain its democratic roots and recognize that a pluralistic Jewish society is a strong Jewish society. These are not guaranteed truths. The upcoming elections will show us where Israeli society stands. And I pray that it lands in the direction of keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust and recognizes the beautiful diversity and potential of our historic homeland. Tonight, I've lifted up some of the giborim, some of the heroes who touched my heart on this journey. God willing, I head back to Israel tomorrow, early in the morning, to lead the first ever bus of Davis Academy mothers alongside fellow Davis Academy moms and rabbis, Rabbi Sam Treef and Rabbi Lauren Lapidus. Together, we will guide current Davis moms on a mission to fulfill the call of our Gevurot and to participate in sustaining our Jewish homeland. May we all have the chance to journey to Israel soon. May we all fulfill our sacred call to sustain life through love, through giving life to all, reviving the dead, through a great saving power, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. May we, both in the diaspora and in Israel, rise to embody the sacred words of our Gevurot. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. Friends, a few announcements. If anybody walked in late, a note that Shabbat services and Torah study are online tomorrow because of the predicted snowstorm. Another thank you to our ushers, Todd Anton, Karen Fox, Grant Stein, John Egbert, and Hal Fine. Actually, no, Hal, you're sick. You're watching online. Thank you for staying home, Hal. A few programs to note. So in the new year, we like to know who's attending Shabbat services. So even, if you picked up your magnet, please make sure you check in at the usher desk and welcome table. So if you didn't do that before the service to sign your name in, we would love for you to let us know that you were here. On February 6th, we have our Kolenu Shabbat. It'll feature second wind dreams, and it'll help us to understand what it is like to live with dementia. During services, there'll be a traditional service, and then there will be a guided meditation simulating dementia, followed by a Q&A. And then following the service, we'll offer a more immersive experience to the first 10 congregants who sign up for this scientifically acclaimed virtual tour. And then finally, our 4th annual fundraising event, our Spring Forward Sanctuary Reimagined, coming up soon. So please join us. Dinner, drinks, entertainment, live auction, all the fun things on Saturday, March 21st from 6 to 10 p.m. If you have questions about any of the other programs, Bill and Jamie will answer them all. Okay, lovely. Now, find me after services. All right, friends, so this is the part of the service where we also talk about all the good things that are going on in our life. I've already shared mine. Thank you. Like, our hostages are home. I'm going, God willing, back to Israel tomorrow. My alarm is set for 4 a.m. What's the good going on in your life? If you've had a birthday or an anniversary, just something very, yes? Okay, very nice to share. Please raise your hand, say your name, and then tell us what it is.
I'm Paul Rothman. So, just to embarrass my wonderful, amazing wife, we signed the paperwork this week for her retirement, which is amazing.
Mazel tov.
27 years as a teacher, so
Mazel tov.
she totally deserves it.
Yes, 27 years. Wow. Thank you.
I'm Hudson Tavani, and my bar mitzvah is on February 7th.
All right, getting excited. That was your invitation, everybody.
I'm Susan, and I just had a fabulous trip last week by myself to visit family and friends in Charlotte and Chapel Hill, and I got there safely and got back safely. And lots of wonderful surprises.
Wonderful. I hear they're about to get a lot of snow tomorrow. Marvin?
Okay. I'm Marvin Goldstein, and I got 2 things to share. Both happened last week. The first is that I had a pacemaker put in, and within 23 hours, I was out at a hospital, and thanks to Jamie and her help, I was practicing psychology in my office 23 hours after going into the hospital. I'm feeling great. The second thing affects the synagogue. I've committed to doing the sidewalk and the remodeling of the stairs that they want to come down. I've committed to doing that too.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you. Okay, getting my steps. Matt, how am I supposed to get to you, man? Dennis, would you pass? Thank you.
My pop-up turned 80 on Sunday.
Pop turned 80 on Sunday. Thank you, Nathaniel. Mazel tov. Happy birthday. I still see you over there. Lots of good.
Hello, my name is Sam Levy, and we are extremely proud to announce that Sydney Levy up there was accepted to cantorial school and will be starting in June 28th. She'll be heading to Israel and then leaving us for a long time.
Yeah, so we will miss her, but she's not leaving yet, guys. And we're very excited and very proud. 1, 2.
My name is Brian Wertheim. My son Evan has lived in Israel for 18 years. He has 3 children, 2 boys and a little girl. Gilly, which means my joy, turned 5 years old 2 days ago. And I will tell you, I've been telling a lot of people, that in 40 or 50 years, she will be the Prime Minister of Israel. I won't be here. But if she can handle her 2 older brothers, she can handle the state of Israel.
Perfect. Pass right there.
I'm Jack Blumenfeld. My daughter Anna is the director at Jacob's Camp, and tomorrow the camp will be hosting the Deep South Jewish community in support of Temple Beth Israel in Jackson.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Jack. All right, friends, for all of these things, we give thanks to God for reaching this day, this moment in time. Shechianu, page 648 will be done before you're there.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Just as we lift each other up in joy, we know that we also need to lift each other up in support. Those who are in need of prayers of healing, of mind, of body, and of spirit. We're praying for Rob Gilbert, Charlie Cohn, Kaska Mishkogi, Jackie Barish, Judy Gurin, Harriet Zoller, Sally Bear, Tzvi Hirsch Ben Chana, Ann Fine, Sheila Cutler, Ellen Young, Sharon Sokolik, Jeffrey Crispo, Chana Gittel Bat Aharon Vibela, Jay Laer, Leslie Ricken, Ken Schiffer, Robert Jacobs, and Aryeh Glick. If there's somebody that you're praying for their healing this Shabbat, I invite you to put a little finger up so I know that you're waiting for me to call on you. Yes. Thank you. 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 So we'll turn to page 371. If your neighbor is comfortable with it, we'll wrap an arm around the other as we rise for Misha Berach. Remain standing and turn back in our prayer books to page 123. Anyone under the age of bar or bat mitzvah? Girls from the Shalom Sanctuary, yes, come on around. Nat, if you want to come up. Emma, come on up. Oh, yep. Hudson, come on up. And all you guys take a little juice. And then I need 2 for the girls. Perfect. And we'll join with, I put yours right there. There you go. With Sydney.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki banu Shabbat kodecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
All right, so we take our sips, put down our cups over here, friends, and then we'll head to the ark. Again, Lorraine standing for Aleinu Lishabeach. Emma, if you'll lead the way up. Nat, it's the same grape juice as every week, man. You've had to taste it different? I'll check and see if we got a different brand. All right, page 586, we join together. Go ahead.
Aleinu lishabeach ladon hakol latet gedula leotzer breshit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama shelo samcho kenu kahem vegor aleinu kechol hamonam vanachnu korim umishachavim umodim Lifnei melech machei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. So we'll conclude our service as we do each week in memory of loved ones who have died in seasons past or in most recent days. Be thinking of those who are in Shloshim for Edward Marblestone, those observing yartzites for Robert Albert Haskey, Jean Alperin, Karen Anton, Ann Browner, Benjamin Kasslar, Robert Fine, Sidney Finfer, David Fink, Donald Frischer, Barbara Kahn, Martin Kaplan, Rita Katz, Miriam G. Kessler, Ruben Klate, Carol Klug, Jack Lee, Rose Liggum, Mario Padilla Leon, Leon Isaac Levin, Levine, Harriet Liebman, Esther Miller, Jacob Mizrahi, Bernard Muller, Molly Mizescu, Eleanor Rubenstein, Eric Saltzman, Gosta Schuderman, Ashish Sharma, Bertha Siegel, Sam Silverman, Debbie Simon, Barbie Stein, Ernest Tischler, Stuart Young, and Shirley Zimmerman. And you all know I always do my best to say these right, but if I mispronounced or skipped a name, please help me and share the name. If you're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to rise so we can recognize you. If you're in the first year, Yod Bet, mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to rise so we can recognize you. If on this Shabbat you're observing a yartzeit, a death anniversary of a loved one, I invite you to rise so we can recognize you. And if it's your custom to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, as we do here at Temple Emanu-El, I invite you to do so at this time. Words of Kaddish Yatom can be found on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimru Amen.
Osei shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Osei shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Osei shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Osei shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Osei shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Osei shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Clap along. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Last but not least, Wa'ala,